Welcome everybody to my Intro to Quantitative Research for Qualitative Researchers course. So let's talk about a research question using the babynames dataset, learn how to build one in R, and some best practices / cool tricks we can do with them. So because our dataset is baby names, I'm immediately curious about people who name their kids after celebrities. Who isn't? How many people name their kid Beyoncé, and how has that changed over time? We have all the children named Beyoncé in America, and it looks like the first time we had more than 5 Beyoncés in America was 1998. So let's go ahead and visualize the Beyoncé data and see how it looks. The syntax here should look somewhat familiar because it's very similar to the bar graph syntax we previously learned. We first set up the data structure and basic aesthetics with ggplot, parentheses, data equals df Beyoncé, comma, AES, x equals year, y equals n, and then 2 parentheses at the end. Then we add our plus sign and tell R what type of graph to use for the first layer. In this case, it's going to be a line graph because we're trying to visualize data over time, and that's the best type of graph to use in this case. So we'll add geom line, parentheses, and nothing in the aesthetics for now as our first layer, and see what happens. Okay, so we take a look here. This is a pretty interesting, if not well-principled graph. We can see growth in the number of Beyoncés from 1998 to 2001, a spike in 2001, and then a decline with some growth and falling until 2007, when it finally has one last peak and declines for good around 2010. Honestly, that teaches me a lot about the name Beyoncé in America right there, even without adding anything to it. But let's make this a principled graph by going through the steps we went through last time, and we should go through every time. Step 1 is to use the simplest type of graph that communicates the relevant information, which we've already done here. Number 2, an honest presentation of data. There are multiple ways to be dishonest with data, but the one I'm most worried about here is the y-axis scale. In general, it's bad practice to just go with a y-axis that's slightly above the highest value, because that can exaggerate trends in the data. So we should try to come up with something meaningful here. All we need to do is add another plus sign and the code ylim parentheses 0, 500. I think we're good here. I think there's nothing else dishonest about this graph. So interns, go ahead and check off box number 2 for me. We've created a great graph here. We could maybe change the title if you wanted to More Children Were Named Beyoncé the Year Survivor was released or something else, but I'm happy with this. I think this is great. You can feel free to perfect it on your own time.